All right, I'll check all my lights, left and right turn signal, four-way flashers, headlights, high and low beam, and my marker lights. I want to make sure that they are clean, working, proper color, not cracked, broken, or missing. There's no leaks or puddles underneath the vehicle. And we'll crack the hood open. Check my exhaust, make sure it's not damaged, broken, or leaking. Check my alternator, make sure it's properly secured, it's not damaged or broken. It is belt driven. All my wires are properly secured. There's no bare or frayed wires. Check my water pump. Make sure it's not damaged or broken. It is not leaking and it is properly secured. My belt is not cracked, frayed, or damaged, and there's no more than 3/4 of an inch play. Both of those are belt driven. My water reservoir, I'm going to make sure it's not damaged or broken. It's at the proper level. It's not leaking and it has a cap. Go around to the other side. I'm going to check my oil to make sure it's at the proper level. I want to check my compressor to make sure it's not damaged, broken, or leaking, and it is gear driven. I want to check my power steering pump to make sure it's not damaged or broken, and it is also gear driven, and it's not leaking. My power steering fluid is not damaged or broken, and it's not leaking and has a cap. My lines are not cracked, damaged, or leaking. My frame is properly secured. It's not damaged or broken. There's no illegal welds. Check my gearbox to make sure it's properly secured. It's not damaged, broken, and it is not leaking. Check my pitman arm, my drag link, my upper knuckle, my lower knuckle, and my tie rod. I want to make sure that there's no missing parts, nothing's bent, broken, or damaged. Everything is secured with a castle nut and cotter pin secured. I'll check my suspension, so my spring mounts and bushings. I want to make sure they're not damaged or broken. There's no missing parts. They're properly secured. I want to check my leaf spring, make sure it's properly secured, it's not damaged or broken, and it's not misaligned. I want to check my U-bolts to make sure they're properly secured, they're not damaged or broken, no missing parts. My shock absorber mounts, top and bottom, make sure they're properly secured, not damaged or broken, no missing parts. My shock absorber is properly secured, not damaged, broken, or leaking. My brakes, my brake hose is secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. My brake chamber is not dented, damaged, or leaking. My slack adjuster and push rod is not damaged or broken, no more than 1 inch pull by hand. My drums and linings on the inside are free of oil, grease, and debris, and they're not worn dangerously thin. I'll check my tire for ICD inflation. It's at the proper inflation condition, no cuts, abrasions, or bubbles on the sidewall, even tread wear. Depth no less than 4/32 on the steer tire. My rim is properly secured. It's not bent, broken, or damaged, and there's no welds. My lug nuts are properly secured. There's none missing. There's no shiny threads or rust trails indicating loose lug nuts. My valve stem is properly secured, not damaged or leaking, and it has a cap. My hub seal, inner and outer hub seal, is not damaged, broken, or leaking. No missing parts, and it has a cap. I'll check my door hinges to make sure they're properly secured, not damaged or broken. Door opens and closes freely. Want to check my mirrors on the side to make sure they're not damaged or broken, they're properly secured. Check my lights and reflectors on the side of my tractor. Make sure they're clean, working, proper color, they're not cracked, broken, or missing. Check my steps to make sure they're solid, secure, and free of debris. I would check my fuel tank and my def tank the same way. Make sure they're not damaged or broken. There's no puddles or leaks underneath, and it has a cap. And then back here, the back, I'll check my airlines, make sure they're properly secured. They're not damaged, broken, or leaking, cut, torn, or frayed. I want to check my electrical line, make sure there's no bare wires, there's nothing exposed. I want to make sure that it's properly connected to the trailer and the tractor. Catwalk and steps are solid, secure, free of debris. My drive shaft and joints are properly secured, not damaged or broken, no missing parts. My torque bar is properly secured, not bent, broken, or damaged. Torque bar is back here underneath. And then so I'm going to go with my 3 main systems: suspension, brakes, and wheel assembly. I'm just going to name the parts, and I'm going to say I would check them like I did the front. My suspension, I would start with my spring mounts, springs, U-bolts, shock absorber, and mount. I would check those as I did the front. Brake hose, chambers, slack adjuster, push rod, drums, and linings, I would check those just like I did the front. Tire, rim, valve stem, and lug nuts, I would check as I did the front, with the exception of 2/32 on the drive axle for the drive tires. I would check my axle seal, inner and outer, to make sure it's not damaged or broken, there's no missing parts, and it's not leaking. Check my airbag to make sure it's not cut, damaged, or leaking, and it's properly secured to the top and the bottom, and it's not damaged or broken. I'll check my mud flap to make sure they're at the proper level, not dragging the ground, and they're properly secured. My lights on the back, left and right turn signal, four-way flashers, brake lights, tail lights. I want to make sure that they're clean, working, proper color, they're not cracked, broken, or missing. Go to the front of my trailer. I would check my header board to make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, there's no debris on it. I would check my clearance lights on the trailer as well as the reflectors on the back of my cab to make sure that they are clean, working, proper color, they're not cracked, broken, or missing. I would go with my coupling system. So my platform here and my mounting bolts are properly secured, they're not damaged or broken, no missing parts. My slider rail here is not damaged or broken, there's no debris, and the locking pins back here are locked in position. My release handle is not damaged or broken, it's in the lock position and it's not bent. I don't want any gap between my skid plate and my apron. I want to check my apron to make sure it's not damaged or broken, there's no holes. I'll check my kingpin and locking jaws on the back, make sure they're not damaged or broken, the kingpin is not bent, and my locking jaws are firmly wrapped around my kingpin. I would check my trailer frame to make sure it's not damaged or broken, there's no missing cross members underneath, and there's no holes in the floor. I would make sure I have proper spacing between the back of my tractor and my landing gear. I'll check my landing gear frame to make sure it's not bent, broken, or damaged, it's properly secured. My handle is in its holder and the feet are in the fully raised position. Check all the lights and reflectors on the side of my tractor or my trailer, including my ABS light, turn signals, and four-ways. Make sure they're clean, working, proper color, they're not cracked, broken, or missing. Coming back here, check my tandem release handle, make sure it's in the locked position. My pins are out in the holes, which means that it is firmly locked in position. And then here I'm just going to name all my parts again. So my spring mount springs and U-bolts, no shock absorbers. I would check those as I did the front. Brake hose, chamber, slack adjuster, push rod, drums, and linings. I would check those like I did the front. Tire, rim, valve stem, and lug nuts, I would check like I did the front. My bud space on my drive and my trailer axle are not rubbing in between there, and there's no debris. I would check my hub seal as I did the front. I would keep going, check my mud flaps as I did the front. My ABS light is functional and the right color. On the back, I'm going to check all my lights, my left and right turn signal, four-way flashers, brake lights, tail lights, clearance lights, and my ID light. I'm going to make sure they are clean, working, proper color, they are not cracked, broken, or missing. I would check my door hinges to make sure that they're not damaged or broken, they're all functioning properly, there's no missing parts. I would check my door to make sure that the safety latch is in the locked position, and my latches on the top and on the bottom are all secured in the right place in the locked position. And that completes the outside pre-trip.